Happy Saturday. I just thought I would pop in for a few minutes for a live. I want to show you the thing I got at Goodwill. I can't wait. I can't wait. So I thought I would go ahead and just go live. It's easiest to go live. It's just like that. Rather than recording a video and then uploading it, this will just upload right away. So happy Saturday. I hope you're having a great day. Thanks for coming in. I'm using Louise's computer again, so I got to practice a couple times before I make a decision, right? I do. I have to practice a couple times. So let me get to, I'm already set. Hey, Jules, how are you feeling? How are you feeling, Jules? I'm glad you're here. Thanks. I'm not going to be on too long, maybe about an hour. I think I can stretch it out for an hour. You know me. I can stretch anything out, right? I can stretch anything out. So, did you see the Northern Lights in California there? Kelly told me that I may be able to see them tonight here. We missed them last night. I was so uninformed. It was my own fault. Oh, okay. Okay. Apparently, it's like really early in the morning you can see them. I don't know, but we'll see. I didn't go to bed till like 1:30 last night, and but I didn't see anything. The moon was pretty though. The moon was pretty. So anyway, we were under a tornado. All of our phones went off. Oh, she saw it at midnight. That's good. I'm so glad. I'm glad that the young people got to see it. It's always exciting for them to see something that they may have never seen before. So I'm glad she was able to see it. We had a tornado. Our phones went off probably about 4:30-ish, maybe, that we were under a tornado watch, that just means that the conditions are good for a tornado, or they're like ripe for a tornado. There weren't any in the area, and then the clouds got like super black, and we had like thunder, 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 thunder. Then it cleared up and got sunny, and then it clouded back up and it got rain. We had a rainbow earlier, just as we were finishing dinner. So, but we were supposed to have severe storms. I don't know if we still are supposed to. It's only in the 40s here, Jules. It's only in the 40s. So for Pete's sake, and that's why I'm wearing a turtleneck. I wanted to share that I'm wearing a turtleneck in May, since I told you all that I'd probably have one more time to wear a turtleneck. I think tomorrow's supposed to be chilly too. So, Can you send me? What do we want to say? You want to send me 30 degrees? Send me 35 degrees. Would you be willing to give up 35 degrees for me? You know how I love the warmth, Jules. Oh, thank you so much. So, Chewy planted the green beans in the garden, and I think I'm going to do a garden walk around at some point very soon, just to show everybody what is coming up in the garden. We do have some blooming things, so there'll be some blooming things. The peonies are starting to bloom out at the back fence. Oh, did you, Jules? Oh, good. Fingers crossed for you this year. He planted some beans. I don't know if he planted the zucchini or not. I looked out the window and I saw him planting the beans. And he made one of those teepees out of sticks, and then he put the jute twine so that it would be like a trellis, and he planted the beans all around the bottom so that they'll, trail up into the trellis. Oh, good. You always have good luck with the strawberries, though. You always have good luck with the strawberries. So, thanks for coming in and visiting with me. This was unannounced, so I'm quite sure that people are busy. So I got my Hello Kitty mug, my new Circle Time mug. So, it's quiet here, isn't it? It is. There's my bud. There's my bud. I should have rated Circle Time like NC-17 because my sister told me that he was inappropriate during Circle Time on Wednesday. I did not realize it. I did not realize it. And Chewy must not have realized it either because, you know, he watches as I'm doing. So he must not have realized it was happening either. But he's watching Chewy outside in the yard because he's outside in the yard. But I have to pick out my plant. I have to pick out what containers to put the flowers in. So I need to do that. All the containers are down from the attic in the garage. So I just need to do that. So I may do that tomorrow. I don't know. We don't have any, we don't have anything special planned for tomorrow. So I may do that depending on the weather. If it's chilly and stuff, I'm not going outside at all. I'm not going out at all. So, but I'll just do my regular stuff tomorrow, restocking the bathrooms, you know, replacing the towels, things like that, and then fall deeper into the rabbit hole of Micah Miller. So, hi, Stacy. Hi. Happy Mother's Day to you. I hope you have a great day tomorrow. I certainly do. I hope you have a great day. I just thought I would pop on for a little bit, maybe an hour, and just chit chat. And I wanted to show you the fabulous thing I got at Goodwill yesterday during our Friday fun night. I decided I needed something very specific for Louise. And I decided, okay, I'm going to look for this particular item. And I had in my head, like, I don't want it to be plastic, cheap plastic. I don't want it to, you know, I want it to be nice, like a Vera or something like that. And lo and behold, up at the Sharon Goodwill last night, I rounded the corner in the linen aisle and there sat this item. So I'll show it to you in a little bit, but I have a few of my little Ghirardelli chocolate chips here that I treat myself to every evening for just like a little treat. So I have those. And it's quiet. It's quiet. The dining room is officially cleaned out now, empty of all of the dorm stuff. Louise went through a bag and a box today that was left over, what she wanted to keep, what she wanted to get, you know, donate. Mostly desk stuff, you know, pencil holders, note card holders, things like that. So she did that this afternoon. So, but other than that, it's quiet. We had leftover enchiladas for dinner. So what I do is I make myself an enchilada and I use the low carb tortillas. Okay. And then for my enchilada, I don't have any rice in it. I just have the meat and the cheese and the enchilada sauce. So I make myself one of those. And then I had a half of one on Thursday for dinner. And then I had the other half tonight. So I'm able to have enchiladas with everybody else. I just subtract the rice out of mine. So I just scoop it out before I add the rice in. So, and they're not like authentic enchiladas where you dip the tortilla into the enchilada sauce. That's not the ones I make. I just make a version of enchiladas. So we had leftover enchiladas tonight, and Chewy and Louise were very excited because Big Bird, our local grocery store, has Haagen-Dazs ice cream, buy one, get one free of the little pints. So I thought they were going to come home with a bunch of stuff from Dick's Sporting Goods. Yeah, they didn't. They came home with a bunch of Haagen-Dazs ice cream that they got on sale at Giant Eagle, Big Bird. So I've got a freezer full of Haagen-Dazs now. So I'll have to put the kibosh on that. I'll have to look at the serving size for Chewy so he doesn't sit up there. So he doesn't sit up there. I know Jules, right? He likes the Haagen-Dazs that is it's the one that has the sugar cone crushed up with the fudge on the inside of the sugar cone. What is it called? Crunch, sugar cone crunch or something like that. That's his favorite. That's his favorite. And then Louise got some wild berry cheesecake one. She got vanilla. Then Chewy got 2 of the crushed cone ones. And then he got like a chocolate brownie dough or something like that. I don't know. I don't do that stuff anymore. So, and I don't miss it either. I don't miss it either. It's interesting because, you think, hi, Francine. Oh, you're craving ice cream now? I know, right? I know. You know what would be nice? Rainbow sherbet. Do you remember rainbow sherbet from when you were a kid? They still sell it. And sherbet, usually it's raspberry sherbet that you put into, like if you're going to do a punch for a party, you can put like rainbow sherbet or raspberry sherbet in with like Sprite and vanilla ice cream, and it makes a super yum. Yes, Stacy. Yes, it's really good. It's really good. I like that. I like to be at a party or a shower or something like that where they have like a nice like punch like that. You know what I mean? With those punches where you put the vanilla ice cream with the rainbow sherbet and then like a 7-Up or something like that, does it kind of remind you of an Orange Julius? Kinda, sorta. The texture of it and everything reminds me of an Orange Julius. Ooh, Orange Julius sounds nice too, doesn't it? It does. We got to get off the food talk because we're all going to be running to the fridge and when we shouldn't be running to the fridge, right? Right. Oh, really, Francine? That's interesting. That's interesting. We're teetotalers here at Lilleybugglane, so we would have to do non-alcoholic. I have a recipe I might share for a very, very good luncheon punch or a brunch punch. That's hilarious, isn't it? A brunch punch. I'll have to dig out the recipe and do it. It's super de-duper easy and it is super de-duper yummy. And let me tell you this, okay? It is just like the Jimmy Dean sausage dip. That's how yummy it is. So if you make the punch that I have the recipe for and you serve the Jimmy Dean sausage dip that I've done on our channel, let me tell you something. People are going to want to come over to your house every time you have a party if you make those 2 things. So anyway, all right, let me show you what I got and then we'll chat for a little bit. So you all know Louise, she loves her things and she's sentimental. She is. She's got a soft heart and she saves her cards that people send her and she saves little things, ticket stubs and, things like that. And so she has her graduation, high school graduation cap and gown and her cord, right? And the program and stuff from her high school graduation, which was in August of 2020. Remember, because of the pandemic, everything got, screwed up. I could have said a bad word. I could have said the F word, which is my favorite word, but I didn't. And then she has her college stuff that she just wore last weekend. It's hard to believe it's been a week already that she's been graduated. And she has her cap that she decorated, which is very special to her. She wants to definitely save that. And she has the gown and the cords and her medallion and the program from the graduation. So she wants to save that too. So I'm thinking to myself, I could fold it up, right? And like pack it up, which would probably be a better way to do it now that I'm thinking about it. But I decided I wanted like a garment bag to hang those things in. And then I would just put the programs down at the bottom. You know what I'm talking about? And if she wanted to like put the cards that she received for her high school graduation and her college graduation, if she wanted to put those in a Ziploc bag, we could stick those down at the bottom too. So I thought to myself, I would like to find a nice garment bag, okay? And I'm thinking, I don't want that cheesy plastic because they do sell those at the Dollar Tree, right? And it could be one of those, you know, those reusable shopping bags that kind of feel like really thick paper towel, but you can't rip them or anything. You know what I'm talking about. They have those kind of garment bags where it's just like a temporary garment bag. And I'm thinking to myself, I don't want to do that either. I want to do something a little bit special for her. Because we could put the prom dress that she never was able to wear because prom got canceled. Her senior prom got canceled because of COVID, which I will never, ever forgive for that her prom was canceled, right? She was so looking forward to it, our sweet Louise, and then it got canceled. So, you know, that's how I feel about it. I'm never going to forgive you for that. So I decided I was going to look for a garment bag. I was thinking might find a Vera Bradley because I went on to Vera Bradley. I wanted to get her something special. And I went on to Vera Bradley and I wasn't going to pay the price. So then I went on to eBay and I looked and I thought, okay, if I don't find anything at Goodwill when I'm around, you know, out and about and around and all that kind of stuff, then I'll go ahead and look on eBay, right? Because I'm not going to buy brand new. As you all know, do everything you can to buy secondhand here at Lilleybugglane. And so I was at the Goodwill in Sharon. Oh my God, I can't believe this happened. Now, I was thinking Vera Bradley, right? That's what I was thinking. I round the corner into the linen aisle at the Goodwill in Sharon, and lo and behold, guess what is sitting on the shelf? A garment bag. This is a very pretty calico. It's like a burgundy with blue and gold and white little flowers on it. Okay, it's got I guess this would be vinyl. This is not leather. It's like a vinyl piping around the sides and it's quilted, okay? Thank you, Stacy. Thank you. It'll do. It'll do, okay? But I'm going to tell you what's so special about this, okay? First of all, I'm going to stand up, okay? Very casual tonight for our chat, okay? This is a full size garment bag. So, and it zips all the way down to the bottom, okay? And it's a standard size for a hanger. And it's got this really cute overflap here so you can put the hooks of the hanger through here and then bring it down over so it's totally protected. And then it's got this pretty navy blue zipper, okay? Is the piping navy blue? Yeah, the piping's navy blue, okay? You want to know what's so special about this? And I didn't even realize it until we got home and I looked at it better, but I paid $4.50 for it at the Goodwill up in Sharon, okay? Where am I going to put this? I'll stick it on me. Okay. So I'm looking at it, right? And it's inside is like a white quilted plastic, okay, which kind of put off a little bell in my head. So then I'm looking all in it for a label, right? Because I'm thinking, this has got to be kind of vintagey because it's got this plastic liner in it, right? And garment bags today don't have that, okay? They do not have that. So I'm looking for a label in it and I don't see a label. But I look and the zipper is like butter, okay? I look at the zipper here, okay? I don't think you're going to be able to see it. I don't think you're going to be able to read it. But that says, I don't think you're going to be able to see it. Lillian Vernon. Lillian Vernon. Then I realized, why did this look so familiar to me? Because if you remember, Lillian Vernon, the catalog, right? The catalog would offer the garment bag, remember? And the shoe bags, like the shoe boxes that would be like this. Do you remember? So then I realized, yes, I should have known it was Lillian Vernon. It is in perfect condition. The inside, there's not a rip, not a single rip on the plastic on the inside. There's nothing wrong with the outside. So I'm going to use this for Louisa's high school, her high school graduation cap and gown and program, and her college cap and gown, cords, sash, medallions, and whatever else she wants to put in it, you know, as keepsakes, because you can just stick it down at the bottom. But I wanted to show you all how fabulous this is. $4.50. And this is better than I had hoped to find. I would have bought a Vera Bradley one. The only thing about the Vera Bradleys, I have never seen a full-length Vera Bradley garment bag, right? I've seen them like waist length, where you kind of have to fold the clothes over and then put them in. But I haven't seen a full-length garment bag. This is a full-length garment bag. So I'm super happy that I have something. So there you go. And I think we'll put her prom dress that she never wore. She never wore it, even though she was super excited about going. I'm a little bitter about it. I'm going to be bitter about that till the day I die. I certainly am. I will never forgive that bullshit. But anyway, it was probably better because she wouldn't have worn a mask. So anyway, so there we go. I just couldn't wait to show you all. I couldn't wait. So that's what I decided to do. Lillian Vernon. What memories does that bring back, right? Lillian Vernon was like the fabulous, fabulous catalog back in the day. I remember receiving the Lillian Vernon catalog, and it just had all this wonderful stuff in it. And when I saw the name on the zipper, because there's no label on the inside, it looks like it's been cut out. The label on the inside has been cut out. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, when Lillian Vernon offered these kinds of items, you could get them initialed if you wanted to for an extra fee, for like a monogram or something, if I'm not mistaken, because I do believe Lillian Vernon offered monogramming back in the day, right? So super happy to get that. Super happy to get that. So yeah, that's it. That's it. That's what I couldn't wait to show you, because I talked about it at Saturday at the Sink. So there we go. I'm hoping, we've got a pretty thick cloud cover. I'm hoping that it will clear and that we might be able to see the northern lights. Um, Either I wasn't paying attention enough, or I went to bed too early and totally missed them. So I don't know. I've already seen them in my life, but I sure would like to see them again. So yeah, so there we go. There we go. My sister emailed me and told me that Justin Bieber's wife is going to have a baby. They've announced that she's pregnant, so that'll be interesting. That'll be interesting. I know that she is vaccine injured. She had a stroke. She had a pretty serious stroke, and I think she developed an autoimmune disease. So hopefully everything will go fine for her. And then, of course, you know, he got that real serious Bell's palsy that he tried to pass off as an ear infection, which it was not. But she's going to have a baby. She's going to have a baby. So Justin Bieber's going to be a daddy. He certainly is. Let's just hope he keeps him away from Sean Combs and Usher. So it's funny to see these people grow up, right? Because I remember when Justin Bieber, he was on YouTube, doing videos on YouTube way back in the day. Right, Jules? Where'd that story go, Jules? Where'd that story go? Where'd it go? It was on fire, right? Now, it seems that the cat is out of the bag with just about everybody in Hollywood with the Ozempic. Scott Disick, I saw a picture of Scott Disick when, Jules, when? I know, stand by the river. I know. That's the one thing I preach, is to stand by the river. But you know what? Even I get very impatient sometimes, you know, because I could take care of it like this. You know I could, Jules. I could take care of it like this. And you know too, Stacy, I am not going to bullshit around. Let's save everybody a lot of time and a lot of money and a lot of heartache and just start the wood chipper. Start the wood chipper. You know? Yes, I do, Stacy. Yes, I do. Let's not waste any money. Let's not waste any time, right? Let's just pull that cord on the wood chipper and get the job done. Can I tell you, I love the movie Fargo. I do. It's really weird and just eclectic, but that's kind of like the genre of movies that I like. I loved Fargo, and it was a good movie. But I would start the wood chipper. I certainly would. But you just have to wonder, you know, where did that story go? Where did that story go? Where did it go? Because it was imminent. Oh, hi, Fran. You'll have to rewind because I wanted to show what I was talking about at Saturday at the Sink that I got for Louise at the Goodwill. And I couldn't wait to show you. Plus, it's super quiet here tonight. So I just thought I would come on and we would just informally chat. So I hope you're doing well. I hope you're doing well, Fran. Jules and Stacy and Francine are here. Yeah, just a little chit chat. Wanted to wish everybody a happy Mother's Day too. So, happy Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day. Isn't it amazing to think? Isn't it amazing to think that there would not be a single human on this earth if it were not for mothers? Right? It would. It's amazing to think about that, isn't it? It is. So anyway, so Justin Bieber's wife's going to have a baby. Now, I know that, what is her name? Jessa. Is that her? No. The one that's married to Derek. Thank you, Fran. The one that's married to Derek, the Duggar girl. She just had a major tragedy. She did, which doesn't surprise me. Nothing surprises me anymore. You know what I mean? Nothing surprises me anymore. Some things might surprise me, but oh, we were talking about Ozempic, right? So it seems like the latest thing is the Ozempic. And I saw a picture of Scott Disick, who used to be with Kourtney Kardashian. Oh, whoo, right, Francine? They like imploded. I think he is remarried. I'm not sure. The children are all grown up. I think they're all over 18 now. So every once in a while, a little sprinkle of little tidbit of gossip comes out about them. But yeah, they're all grown up. Can you believe that? I remember when they were born. But I saw a picture of Scott Disick. And let me tell you something. I'm going to tell you what this Ozempic face is. Because, you know, they talk about this Ozempic face. One of the things, and I've watched quite a bit about Ozempic. One of the things with Ozempic is that you lose muscle mass. You lose muscle. That's part of the side effect of Ozempic, right? Look at Sharon Osbourne. The reason Sharon Osbourne looks the way she looks is because the muscles in her face, she's losing the muscles in her face. That's what it is. There was a picture of her. There was a picture of Scott Disick, Ariana Grande. She is taking Ozempic, which, I mean, seriously, what doctor in their right mind would give Ariana Grande Ozempic? These are the kind of doctors that need to have their licenses revoked, right? Not because they've done something bad to a patient, but because they are practicing bad medicine. Do you know what I mean? It shouldn't have to be that somebody complains about them to the board. It should be the board. Hi, Happy. LA weight loss. Was that commercials? Do I remember commercials about that? LA weight loss? Was that like a storefront? Or was that kind of like, would that be kind of like Beachbody? Was it kind of like that program? I think it was a storefront, wasn't it? It was a storefront. But anyway, that's the Ozempic face. I have figured it out. That's why those people, they look like they look, is because they're losing the muscle in their faces, right? And it's not able to hold up their faces anymore, you know, to hold up the structure of their faces. Now, it's my understanding, this is my understanding about Ozempic, okay, is that once you lose that muscle, it's gone. It's gone. You cannot get it back. Now, I'm talking about Ozempic. I'm not sure if Mounjaro does it, or what is the other one? The Wegovy? I'm not sure if that does it either, but it's the Ozempic. It's the Ozempic that does it. And the Mounjaro and the Wegovy is just Ozempic with just like one molecule changed, because, you know, that's how they bring out the new medicines. I read a very interesting article that said that there have been no new pharmaceutical drugs for like the last 50 years. What they're doing is they're recycling and they're changing like a single molecule in the structural makeup of the medication. They'll change like one molecule and then they'll market it as something new. So they haven't come out with like a new medication in like 50 years. So, which doesn't surprise me. Nothing surprises me. So, LA weight loss. Now, I remember Fen. I'm sure quite a few of you remember Fen too. And remember, Fen was touted as like the greatest thing to ever happen for weight loss. Do you remember that? And everybody went on Fen. And within 6, 8 a year, 6 months, 8 months a year, remember, then all of a sudden everybody started having the heart conditions and the heart problems, and they found out that it was the mitral valve prolapse and the mitral valve weakening, and it was because of the fen. And remember, they pulled it off the market real quick, but the damage had already been done. Do you remember that? I remember that. And I have a feeling that it's the same thing with the Ozempic, right? Because one of the things with the Ozempic, and there are a lot of people. Oh, do they really? They're still around. Am I right to think that they were a storefront? Because for some reason, I'm thinking that they were a store, like an office, like a storefront. Or was that LA weight loss? Was that medically monitored weight loss? There's one that was real popular like 10 or 15 years ago, not Jenny Craig, but there was another one where you were monitored at an office, and it was weight loss. I don't know if it had supplements with it or not, but you like had to eat their food. Okay, I might be thinking LA. It might be the one that I'm thinking of. So, but anyway, there are a lot of people on YouTube that do. Was she really, Linda? Star Jones. I'm trying to picture her in my mind. Okay, I've got her. And she looked very sickly after she lost a lot of weight, didn't she? I wonder if she ended up getting gastric. I remember. She looked very, very sickly when she was taking the fen. Or when she was taking the, fen. I remember when that came out. Linda, I was just talking about like Scott Disick, Sharon Osbourne. There's a bunch of people that have taken it. Oprah takes it, but she says she takes it periodically, which everything that I've heard of says that you cannot take it periodically. Once you start, you have to continue. And if you don't, the weight's going to come right back on you. This is not for long. You are going to be a lifelong pharmaceutical patient on Ozempic. You are. The minute you go off it, the hunger that is curbed by Ozempic is just going to come raging back, right? Raging back. And I have always said this. In my mind, my opinion, being overweight, being obese is a symptom, okay? Now, it's not from depression medication, because depression medication doesn't put 200 extra pounds on you, okay? It's not your thyroid, because thyroid dysfunction doesn't put 200 extra pounds on you. It just doesn't. It doesn't. Medically, it doesn't. There are very, 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 very few medical conditions that would cause you to gain 100 pounds, 200 pounds, 300 pounds over what your ideal weight should be for your height, okay? And your age, okay? I have always said, if you fix what is up here, right, this will follow. I've always said that. I've always said that. Now, there are times if you break your leg and you're sitting on the... Can I tell you something, Linda? Chewy and Louise got a small pack of those golden Oreos, which have just like 8 Oreos in them. Chewy said they taste nothing like they did like a year or 2 years ago. He says the cream leaves a weird film in his mouth, which didn't used to be the case. Now, it's my understanding that they are changing a lot of ingredients in the food because of the price, right, Jules? Because of the supply chain issues and the prices of ingredients going up, right? That they are changing a lot of the ingredients and they're using extra oil or they're substituting with water. So they're taking out, and they're adding in. But he said he had this really weird film in his mouth after he ate those golden Oreos. I don't like to have that kind of stuff in the house. If they get a hankering for it, then they can go, "Hi, Sally. Thank you so much. I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you said hello. We're just chatting." We're just chatting. I know, right? I know. Let me tell you something, Fran, okay? I have never been a granola girl. Never been a granola girl, okay? I've never been. Okay? But like I told you with the health and beauty stuff, I'm trying to, when I have to stop using something out of sheer principle, I'm trying to go to something that is more natural and that is not going to, be corrupted in any way that I can reasonably think of. I'm thinking I may start to make my own butter. I've watched a couple of videos on it. It's super easy to do. And you're just going to have to start doing stuff like that. We're going to have to start doing things like Ma Ingalls, Caroline Ingalls. We're going to have to go back to the old ways because they were the best ways. They certainly were. And it's just, right, Fran? I've seen it where the guy shakes that is not a good motion for me right now, is it? Takes the mason jar and then shakes it up, right? And just keeps shaking it. And then I think like after 5 minutes, the butter ball will start to form, right? Then I've seen one done in a blender where you blend it and it'll start to form. And then you pour it through some cheesecloth and you squeeze the whey out of it. It looks super easy. So I'm buying Kerrygold right now, which I'm comfortable with. I'm comfortable with Kerrygold. But, me too. I do too, Francine. And I'm comfortable with getting Kerrygold right now. I'm comfortable with it. If it goes up to $10 a brick, then I'm going to be making my own butter. I certainly am. But you just have to. Okay. Somebody else in our circle, Fran, has a start. Is it you, Francine? Somebody mentioned it. Somebody mentioned it, I want to say back in the winter time, that they were making a start for sourdough. Somebody did. I remember very specifically somebody saying that in our circle time, which would be super cool, wouldn't it? Oh, you did. Okay. Okay. You can buy a starter. That's very interesting. My mother-in-law, quite a ways back, she was into the sourdough, and she did a starter, and she would give it to everybody she met. She would give them a piece of her starter and a recipe card with the recipe for the sourdough and then how to continue on with your starter. And she just gave it to everybody that she met. She did. For a couple years, she actually did that. So, yeah. Can I tell you, I mentioned this was a stoneware mug during circle time. And when I meant that it's heavy. It's a heavy mug, which the college mug wasn't as heavy as this mug. So I have to get used to it. And if I have a sore thumb, which I do on this hand right now, it's kind of sore, achy, then I don't know what I'm going to do with this, because this is a pretty heavy mug. Happy. I think you asked. No, it was Mom's stuff that asked. I said that this was in the housewares department at the Walmart. I was wrong. Chewy said I was wrong. This is in the party aisle at the Walmart, and it's in the same aisle that the cake decorating stuff is. They have kind of like adult party supplies, and this was in that aisle. So when I said it was in the housewares, I was wrong. It's in the party section. So they've got some really cute mugs in the party section. They certainly do. Chewy was out in the garage. He just came in. Just talking to our circle of friends for a little bit. I wanted to show them Louise's garbage bag.
Oh, okay.
So if you can just warm that up for me. Oh.
I'm going to wash my hands and then I'll do it.
Okay. Well, you're grabbing the mug with dirty hands.
We're grabbing it with 3 fingers.
Oh, 3 fingers. Okay. A partial hand then. A partial hand.
That would be the dirtiest 3 fingers.
The dirtiest 3 fingers, the ones you scratched your butt crack with, right? Out in the garage. Oh my gosh! Guess what? Chewy looks outside after dinner tonight and he says to me and Louise, he says, you know what I just realized? No bluebirds came to my bluebird house this year.
No, none of the birds. The house finches, nothing's in there.
No birds at all?
No birds at all are in there.
Are you sure?
Yes, I've been watching.
Oh. Did you check inside it?
No, I mean, I've stood by it and listened. There's no little birds chirping.
There's no little birds chirping?
No.
They might not be here yet.
Oh, they're here.
Oh, they're here.
They're just not here.
Okay. Maybe it's our fabulous privacy fence that's keeping them out.
Actually, I think it is. I read up on it. And
Did you really?
Yeah, I read up on it, and it's better if it's like in the open.
Oh.
So being on a fence doesn't necessarily.
Oh, well, too bad, because the privacy fence...
I know.
The privacy fence actually might get higher. It ain't going to disappear. Or it might become electrified. Wouldn't that be fabulous? That's like my ultimate privacy fence. Is like 8 feet tall with these wrought iron sharp spikes, you know? And the wrought iron is all electrified. And it's so electrified that you can hear the hum like, like that. I know, right? No, our neighbors are okay. I wouldn't want to zap them. They're not the ones I'm worried about. It was suggested, we just got, oh, let me see if I can do this. I just got a little pop up there. Okay, it disappeared. Happy, we just got solar fountains for the bird baths, the 2 biggest bird baths. So you know that Mama Jamma bird bath? that we got on the side of the road. I mean, this thing is a monster. So we have a fountain, solar fountain for that one. And then we have a solar fountain for the one that's farther back in the yard. It's not as big as the Mama Jamma one, but it'll look nice in there. But I'll mention that. I'll mention that to him too. I think we had talked about that before, right? In the winter time. Yeah. I don't know. I'm not, I'm wondering if the birds might, might not be around too much this year. The climate and everything, climate change. Sir, hi. What you doing? Buddy's not far behind because Sir just came in.
Buddy's right there.
Oh, you're right. Buddy's right there. Yeah. Let me tell you something. We had a lot of cardinals this winter here. We had a lot of cardinals. Bright red, which are the males, right? And quite a lot. We had a lot.
That's because of the food.
Because of the food you were putting out?
Yeah.
You think?
Well, yeah, that's what it is. It's because in the wintertime, it's hard for them to find food. So if you put out food, they stay. In the summertime, they want water.
Oh, they want water.
Yeah.
Oh,
So,
okay.
we have both of those.
Okay. Yeah, so I think I'm going to do a walk around in the... No, I don't. Oh, really? We have 3 hawks here, Francine. One of them we call Screecher because he will circle in the air above the neighborhood, and the entire time he is just screeching and screeching and screeching. So we call him Screecher. But we know there are 3 individual hawks here. And we were taking a walk one day behind us, in the township behind us. I know, right, Lisa? Nice to see you. And we heard Screecher. We couldn't see him flying. We think he was in a tree in the township behind us, in a tree or something. But I don't think they're living too far away. But let me tell you, at least once a day you will hear him, and he just circles the neighborhood and just screeches and screeches and screeches. And of course, we've got the adorable chipmunks. That will be coming out soon. Chewy saw a hole in the secret garden next to the garage wall, and he says that's the chipmunk hole. So they are adorable. Last summer, in the mornings, they would be in the grass, and there would be like 3 or 4 of them, and they'd be running after each other, and they would like tumble in the grass. So adorable. But I think I will do a garden walk around, and just show you things that are coming up, things that are blooming already. Our allium, which is decorative onion. We've got giant allium, and then we have small regular allium. Those are coming up and blooming already. Like I said, the peonies are starting to bloom. We had the purple bearded irises. They have already bloomed and gone away, so Chewy needs to chop down the green. Because can I tell you something? Once something has bloomed, right? If it's not going to continue to bloom, I want it gone, right? Because the iris leaves droop, you know what I mean? And it just looks ugly in the garden. So why not just chop it and then plant like zinnia seeds or something over top that's not going to interfere with the deeper planting of you know what I mean? So the bearded irises, our neighbors next door, they have a bocce court, and they have the purple bearded irises going up the one side of their bocce court. They are beautiful. They all bloomed at the same time this year. It was stunning. Oh, do you happy? We never do. I'm like, get it out of here. No, we don't. We don't do that. We don't do that. Once it starts to like droop and look ugly, or it's just like green, you know what I mean? Like the peonies. The peonies, once they bloom, right? Chewy will chop them to the ground and we will plant zinnias over them. That's what we'll do. Last year was the first year we did that, and we really, really liked it. We really liked it. And that just gives like a second blooming or a second rotation of things to grow. So, but we planted the sunflowers and the zinnias on, oh my God, I almost bit my tongue. Did you see that? Here next to the basketball hoop, we planted the sunflowers and the zinnias, and the mountain of mulch is gone. We had a nice thick coat, and then our neighbors next door purchased what was left, and it was just the right amount for them. So we both have very spiffy looking yards, which is nice. And the butterfly bush is starting to show new growth, which is wonderful. So, did I tell you we're going to do chili peppers? We're doing jalapeno peppers in the Chewy made I got to be careful, don't I? You saw that, didn't you? Woo! Chewy. Chewy made a garden box on legs, and we're going to do the peppers in there. And we got jalapenos, and we got the red long peppers that you dry. You know, you thread them and then you can dry them, which I think is what crushed red pepper flakes are made out of. We're going to do those this year. So I'm excited about the zucchini, because that's our favorite summer vegetable is zucchini. I would like to do radishes. Chewy's not keen on radishes though, but radishes are supposed to be super good for your immune system. Super de-duper good. So I would like to do radishes, but I don't know. He says he'll eat them if they're thinly sliced, but like he won't like eat a radish. My sister and I were talking about horseradish. You love what with tacos, Jules? The jalapenos or the radishes? My sister and I were talking about horseradish because I watched a video. Really? Really, Jules? Slice thin? Slice thin? Huh. Very interesting. Very interesting. I watched on News Nation the interview with the gentleman out in Arizona that was tried for shooting the illegal that was found on his ranch property. I forget his name. Older gentleman. Really? That's very interesting. That's very interesting. And he talked about the day of the incident that happened with him. I'm not keen on lime. Okay, Stacy, have a nice day tomorrow. Happy Mother's Day. Thanks for coming in. We're not going to be here too much longer. He talked about making a sandwich, peanut butter, pineapple, and mayonnaise. he made that sandwich the day that the incident on his ranch happened. And he mentioned it in the interview that he did on News Nation. And he made a funny comment. He said, people may think that's a weird combination until they taste it and then they become a fan of it. So it does sound interesting. Not for you. Yeah. Yeah. I know that there are people that put peanut butter in their chili. I know that. I've heard of people doing peanut butter and mayonnaise. I've heard of that. I remember peanut butter and banana as a kid, right? Peanut butter and banana sandwich. Those were always yummy as a child. Peanut butter and fluff, right? Am I crazy to think that I've heard of peanut butter on a hot dog? Am I crazy to think that? Or did I hear somebody say that one time? Peanut butter on a hot dog. Maybe I'm crazy. Maybe I was thinking that in my wackadoo mind. I'm not real sure. Peanut butter and bologna, which would be similar to peanut butter and a hot dog, right? It was gross, Happy. I think it's something you have to like grow up on. You know what I mean? I think it's like an acquired taste. There are some things that are acquired tastes. There are. Now, I watched a video that talked about horseradish. And because I always say that it's up to us, right? We have to be responsible and take responsibility for our own health, right? Because it is up to us, friends. And I'm going to say that until you're sick to death of me hearing, you're sick to death of me saying it, but it is up to us. It is up to us. And it makes me so damn angry to hear people that are sick, that don't feel well, that have ailments, that are not willing, right, to do anything themselves to help themselves improve. Even if it's a 10% improvement, you're still taking responsibility. Jules, we have a place here called Permante's, and they put French fries on just about everything. They certainly do. They certainly do. I've seen people put French fries in salads like at Wendy's and, places like that. They'll put the French fries. French fries are becoming like so gourmet now. You've got like the lemon pepper French fries. You've got the Parmesan French fries. You've got the ranch French fries. I mean, they're almost like a crouton, aren't they? They're almost like a crouton. They are. But my sister and I were talking about horseradish because this video that I was watching talked about the fact that horseradish has a lot of antibiotic properties to it, antimicrobial properties to it and stuff. And for some reason, I'm thinking like I heard somebody say one time that they did like a spoonful of horseradish a day. Now, my mom loves the horseradish. She does. I've tasted it before. I think it's a root. I think horseradish is a root, if I'm not mistaken. But let me tell you something. It's got a bite. It has got a bite to it. It does. So I'm just looking into different things. You know what I mean? It's all about boosting our immunities and keeping us healthy and being able to take care of mild illnesses that we may have. You know what I mean? Mild illnesses. And like I've told you before, I'm not saying that I would never not go to the doctors again, but I would have to be in pretty bad shape to go, to the doctor. Okay. Okay. I do like radishes. They're kind of like lemons, aren't they? They kind of have the same, to me, a totally different taste. But if you bite into a radish and you chew it up, radish and salsa. Okay. Okay. I do like salsa though because it's keto. So I can do salsa and not have to worry about it, not have to worry about anything. So, and sometimes I'll do it on sliced cucumber. What dental experience? What dental experience, Linda? I can tell you the last time I went to the dentist was when Chewy retired because we all had to go to the doctor. We all had to go to the dentist before he retired, right? And I went to the dentist and got my teeth cleaned. And I've always had very good teeth. I've always had very good teeth. And never had a problem with them. When I was young, I did have cavities and stuff, but older, I didn't have cavities. Went for that retirement checkup at the dentist and the cleaning. Went in fine, got the cleaning, came out. My teeth, like within 24 hours, were so sensitive. And I've had sensitive teeth ever since, and I've never been back to the dentist. Never been back to the dentist. And the dentist typically will call once a year and say to me, "You haven't been here in so long." And I'll say, "You're exactly right. And I'm not coming back until there is something very wrong." So do you want to know what about tooth cleaning? Is that what you were talking about? Yeah, after a cleaning, my teeth got super sensitive, and it's not as bad as it was in the beginning. It's gotten less over time. I do use Sensodyne toothpaste now, and I do use extra soft toothbrush, which I'm super de-duper happy because Ollie's, the last time Chewy and I were at Ollie's, they had the Colgate manual toothbrush that we use in extra soft. Extra soft. Now, I don't use extra soft because my teeth are so sensitive. That's not why I use extra soft. I use extra soft because that's what you should be using on your teeth, right? If you use medium, now I'm not talking about if you got dentures, not talking about if you got dentures, okay? Yes, they do, Jules. Yeah, they do. But you should always have a soft or extra soft bristle, okay? If you use medium or you use hard, you're being lazy because you're using the medium and the hard because you don't want to take the time to circular brush or up and down, right? You don't go like this in your mouth. You do not, because you're wearing away the gum. You're wearing away your gums, right? So you just want a circular, and then up and down, right? But you want to use soft or extra soft. But I don't use extra soft because of my sensitive teeth. And I'll tell you this, I have been using baking soda for a very long time to help keep my teeth white. Once a year, I do use the Gentle Crest strips. I do not use them one day after the other, right? I'll do it one day a week, then I'll do it one day a week, then I'll do it one day a week. I don't do it repetitive days because that's not good for your teeth. But just to get like the deep crevice stains and stuff, I'll use that once a year. I'll use it once a year. The baking soda has actually helped in desensitizing my teeth. The level of sensitivity, it has actually helped. I still can't do like ice cold water. I'm not good with ice cream. I don't do well with ice cream. I don't do well with hot food, like steaming hot food. if it gets on my teeth, especially my backs, I can feel pain in my face. Peroxide is good. Yeah. I'll tell you, again, it's the simple stuff. Now, let me tell you something. My children never got fluoride at the dentist, ever. And every single year, it was a fight, not figurative, not literally, but figuratively. I think there's mouthwash that has peroxide in it. But there would always be like a strong discussion between me and the dentist as to why I would not allow fluoride. And I would always say, there's fluoride in their toothpaste. We have city water and there's fluoride in the city water. I don't need fluoride to be put directly onto their teeth, onto the gum, which is the quickest way into your bloodstream through your mouth through the gum. So no, I'm not going to do fluoride. Now, when I was a child, my dad was in the military. You all know that. And I remember it was like, I don't know if it was like fluoride day or what the hell it was, but like all these kids lined up. They filled the trays with the fluoride gel and you had to bite down on it for like, I don't know how long. The shit was running down the back of your, yes. Yeah, I didn't know that. I didn't know that until recently, Jules. And I agree. I mean, that could be one of the things, that could be one of the things. But the fluoride would be going down the back of your throat as you were leaning back in the dental chair. And they had these huge black trash cans out at the exit of the dental clinic. And there would be kids around the trash can vomiting because they had gotten the fluoride into their stomachs and it was upsetting their tummies. So they were, vomiting. I remember that. But my sister and I always got fluoride. But I never allowed my children to have fluoride. I never allowed my children. And both my children had, well, Louise still does. Bunny had it until, then when he was on his own, I don't know what the hell he does now, had stellar oral hygiene, right? Because that is not optional here at Lilleybugglane. It is not optional. Now, I understand heredity, where bad teeth may run in a family, soft teeth may run in a family, regionally, people may not have good teeth and, stuff like that. But I was very, very lucky. And my sister and I were both born with very good teeth. But that damn cleaning that I got. You know what, Francine? I have heard of that. I've heard of that, but I've never done any like long research or anything about it. I haven't heard about it. I do what I do. I use the Sensodyne toothpaste. I use the extra soft manual toothbrush, typically at night. I'll use the spin brush with the Sensodyne toothpaste and the baking soda after my shower in the daytime just to get in between. Does she really, Jules? To get in between my teeth because, as we age, our teeth kind of start to separate a little bit, so things get stuck in there and it can stain. And so I use the spin brush once a day, and then I use the manual toothbrush once a day with baking soda. I pimp up my toothpaste, and I do brush my tongue. I do that. I don't have it doesn't bother me. I could stick the toothbrush all the way back there and not even gag or anything. So it doesn't bother me to do that, which, is a good thing. But yeah, the fluoride, I didn't know that, Jules. I didn't know that. Right? Right? Um, I mean, you don't want to think that people, agencies, associations would intentionally harm us. You don't want to think that. You don't want to think that. You don't want to think that your government would intentionally and knowingly harm their citizens, right? You think that's crazy. That's what government would want to hurt the citizens, right? It's like inconceivable in your mind, right? Well, if you've lived the last 5 years, 4 years, then you know, right? Then you know that it's not as crazy as the man that was standing out on the corner in the 80s with the cardboard sign with the damn tinfoil on his head telling us the end was near, that the government was trying to kill us, that, we were all gonna die. He wasn't so crazy. I know. He wasn't so crazy, was he? Let me tell you something. If I could go back, I would go back. They know, they know, they know, they know. It could go on and on, couldn't it, Linda? If I could go back to 1985 and be that crazy wackadoo bum that stood on the street corner acting like a crazy person, telling us that the end was near and, all these crazy things, I would go back and be that person. I certainly would. And I think if we were to go back, right? If we were to go back to 1985, because that seems like 83, 84, 85. That seems to be, when I listen to podcasts and stuff, that's when the food started to really change and things started to really change just ever so subtly. And then I remember very vividly in 1993, I had a situation happen where I spoke up and I said something and I was squashed down like a bug under a shoe. And it was unbelievable. And now looking back, it was a canary in a coal mine. It was about participation awards. And, and I could see the emotional manipulation that was used to make it okay when it hadn't been okay the year before. You know what I mean? They stopped keeping scores at the YMCA with the teams. It was just a hot mess, and it was a canary in a coal mine. I think about that all the time. 50 Shades of Grey, canary in a coal mine. 50 Shades of Grey, canary in a coal mine. I think that. I do. Hip hop music, canary in a coal mine. I think that. I know, Jules. I know. I could go on forever. That's why we're going to have conspiracy circle time. We certainly are, because you just don't want to think these kinds of things. It makes me sad. It makes me sad that, this stuff is Yeah, Lisa. Yeah. Let me tell you something, Lisa. I remember this. Okay? Marianne Williamson, who was the crazy wackadoo presidential candidate, right? Love, 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 right? I remember her very vividly in my mind. She was on Oprah. And I think I've brought this up before. And they're woo-wooing about a book that she had written or something. And you always notice she talks in this whispery voice. Hi, Jen. I know. You always notice that Marianne Williamson talks in this whispery voice. Well, that's an emotional manipulation tactic. She uses a motherly voice. She uses the gentle, motherly, grandmotherly voice, right? The one that some people use in their videos to make them sound more gentle and relatable and make you have to lean in to lean into the sound, right? Because it brings you in, right? Yeah, I'm so not like that. You don't have to lean in to hear me. You certainly don't. You're going to hear me whether you want to or not. So, Marianne Williamson is on Oprah, okay? Marianne Williamson is on Oprah. I know, Jen. You and me both, sister. And I remember, I don't know what book she had written, but she had written a book. She tells, it must have been about childhood or something. It was ridiculous. She tells the audience to close their eyes. Okay? This would have been in the 90s. I'm going to say mid. Okay? She tells the audience to close their eyes and to call their inner child forward. Okay? And she's talking real soft. Just invite the younger you to come forward in your mind. She's talking real syrupy and everybody's getting a mouthful of cavities and the damn dentists are going like this. You know what I mean? Here they come. And she talks about embracing your inner child and hugging that child and loving that child and being gentle to that child. And the camera pans out into the audience and these women tears are streaming down their faces. And I'm thinking to myself, oh my God, what is going on? Right? What is going on? It was crazy. Then I watched, I should probably bring this up during conspiracy theory. I watched a documentary in the mid 90s in the psychiatric field. They came up with a study of suggestive memories where they would have women come in, right, to a therapist, and the therapist would go through this routine and this regime where he or she, did you see that, Jules? That whole thing, yes. It was bullshit. It was bullshit. And that was the psychiatric field. And the reason they did it was because the psychiatric field was waning and the pharmaceuticals were going up. So people were opting for pharmaceutical treatment instead of talk therapy treatment. So they decided, let's see how suggestive people are to certain things, right? Now, we all know people, I know people that they had good childhoods, okay? They had good childhoods. What is good? Good is subjective. What is bad? Bad is subjective, depending on who you are and what day it is and whether you feel bloated or not. That's how subjective a good childhood could be as opposed to a bad childhood could be, okay? I know people that have had a good childhood, okay? I know them, okay? But here it is. They fall into this woo-woo bullshit victim thing, right? Where they've got to have something wrong with them because they want to sit at the damn table with the cool kids, which they don't realize aren't really the cool ones, right? Right? Where the good childhood turns into an okay childhood, turns into a not great childhood, turns into a bad childhood, turns into a traumatic childhood. I know people like that. I know people like that. That have said they've had a great childhood and now they say their childhood was horrific and traumatic. Explain to me how that happened in between. I'll explain to you how that happened. I'll explain it to you. Okay? They started going in for this woo-woo, self-diagnoses, Dr. Google. They can't be left out of anything. They have to be part of the group. Right? That's what it is. Yeah. Yeah. That whole suggestive memory, that repressed memory. I mean, look how easy it is to get children to say things that are not true. You can, right? There are just, you get somebody worked up enough and fearful enough, right? I try not to use the word anxiety because anxiety, the definition of anxiety is uncontrolled fear, okay? That's the definition of anxiety. To me, butterflies in your stomach, sweaty palms, sweaty upper lip, sweaty boobie, sweat in between, you know what I mean? Like a rumbly tumbly, right? That's all part of fear. That's all being afraid, being nervous about something. I try very hard not to use the word anxiety because I'm not feeding into this psycho bullshit movement that is going on, right? And I just heard something that's crazy about wounded healers. Has anybody else heard that term? I just heard it recently. Wounded healers. Okay? Where these are people that have been wounded or traumatized. Okay? And if you think for 1 second that I'm trying to belittle or to minimize any trauma or any terror or any fear or whatever you think you've had in your life, then you think that. Okay? You think that. Okay? You think it. But that's not what I'm trying to do. But this wounded healer concept, right, are people that have experienced things and they want to help other people that are experiencing things that they have experienced and they want to help them get through them. Well, I don't like that one bit. Not one bit. No, no, no. I don't like that one bit because I can see how that could turn into a humongous shit show. I can see how that would turn into a humongous shit show, right? Because you've got the person right? And then you've got the patient, you've got the therapist, and then you've got the patient. And what they're going to do is they're going to feed off of each other. So I don't see in any way how that can be beneficial, because you're going to validate the wounded healer, right, as someone who can help you. And then this person who's seeking help is going to validate the wounded healer. Let me tell you something. If you are in therapy, right. Let me tell you something. If you are in therapy and the therapist ever tries to relate to you with a personal story of their own, you need to find another therapist. It should never, ever be about the therapist. Ever. Right? Ever. I was in therapy when I was a young teenager. Was diagnosed with anorexia, and I went to a therapist, and right from the very beginning, the therapist said, we're going to resolve this in 6 to 12 weeks, right? Gave up a time frame, right? And now you don't get a time frame usually. And let me tell you something, this online therapy bullshit is bullshit. It is bullshit. This is for substandard therapists to do a lot of harm to patients. I would never, if I was a therapist, which I'm not, okay, I would never see a patient virtually. I would never see a patient virtually. Yeah. Talk therapy used to be very popular, and then the pharmaceutical thing kind of took off, and the insurance company, it was cheaper to go the pharmaceutical route than it was to do the talk therapy route. So that's why therapy kind of fell to the wayside, and the pharmaceutical stuff took off because it's cheaper. It's cheaper. It is. It's cheaper. But I'll tell you something. I'll give you a little tip, okay? And I've heard a lot of people say this. And I agree, because there are times when I might start to get a little sad, or a little irritated with myself, right? And I've heard a lot of people say this. If you stop thinking about yourself so much, you will feel better. If you stop ruminating about yourself and about the way you feel, and start thinking outwards towards other people, other things, that will help you feel better. Matter of fact, let me look in here. We're going to close here in a few minutes. Tucker Carlson, who I just love, he has got like he's like an overgrown frat boy. He is. And he's like a hot, preppy mess kind of a guy. Yeah, I think so, Jules. I would be down with that, but not this journaling about your feelings and ruminating on your feelings and, swimming in your feelings. Get the fuck out of the pool. Get out of the pool. Stop swimming in your own feeling pool. Stop it. Stop it. You will feel better. Get out of the pool. Stop. Just stop. Stop. Because let me tell you something. It is exhausting, right? It is exhausting. I know it's exhausting. How about trying to get out of the pool of your feelings Right, right. Right, Happy? Okay, I wrote this down because Tucker said this and I thought it was fabulous. Self-awareness leads to self-obsession, which leads to narcissism and misery. Stay away from yourself. I thought that was good. I thought it was so good that I rewound the podcast I was listening to him on and I wrote that down. And this is quite a ways back in my book. It's all the way to here in the beginning of the book. Self-awareness leads to self-obsession, which leads to narcissism and misery. Stay away from yourself. I couldn't agree more, Tucker. And I love your Johnston and Murphy style. I certainly do. I certainly do. I feel bad. I feel sad for people that just cannot seem to unburden themselves. The emotional hoarders and just people that just do not want to be happy. They do not want to be happy. They are bearing burdens that are not theirs to bear. They are living lives that are not theirs to live. You know what I mean? They are not emotionally strong enough to get away from soul suckers and emotional vampires that are out there, because they are. Right. But you can't be swimming in your feelings 24 hours a day. You do not want children to be doing that either. You don't. You can validate their feelings and then move it along. Yes, Fran. Yes. That is very important. That is very important. And you'll notice in the Bible, depression is not in the Bible. Right, Happy? They'll be like, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? Oh, let me tell you something. I grew up in an era. I know I sound like a cold-hearted bitch. I have been told that many times in my life. There is not many things that you can say to me or call me that is going to faze me one bit, okay? Really, I've lived a long time, okay? I'm not as old as 53, right? Because I'm 57. And 57 is not old. 53 is really old, okay? But I grew up in an era, right, where this was not tolerated. This was not tolerated. I never heard any of my friends say I'm depressed. I never heard anybody say they were anxious. Nervous? Yes. Sad? Yes. Depressed? Nope. Anxious? Nope. Anxiety? Nope. It was just nervousness. It was butterflies, things like that. And if we were acting crazy and stuff, and yeah, I said crazy. If we were acting crazy and stuff, our parents would tell us, our teachers would tell us, our friends' parents would tell us, the guidance counselors would tell us, get over yourself. You are not that special. We weren't told we were special when we were young. We were told we weren't special, right? We were told we weren't special. We were told to get over ourselves, work it out by ourselves. It was a totally different time. I'm not saying that it was right to do that. I'm not saying that, because I know a lot of people that grew up in the time frame that I grew up in that can't handle anything. They're so emotionally immature or emotionally fragile, right? But I mean, it's just get out of the pool of your feelings. You know what I mean? One of the things that people describe about depression and things like that is this drowning feeling, this feeling of drowning, right? In darkness, in like it's sucking you down, right? Get out of the pool. Get out of the pool. Get out. Go outside, walk around in your neighborhood, wave to every fucking person you see, whether they're pulling weeds in their yard, they drive by you in a car, raise your hand and smile, right? Go walk around the Walmart and every person you see, smile to them and say hello. Start doing something like that, right? Go sit at Wendy's and say hello to everybody that comes in. Do something like that. But get out of the pool. Get out of the pool. If you feel like you're drowning, get out of the pool. That's enough. That's enough. Right? I know. I'm just I'm cold-hearted. I know it. I know. It's all those self-help books that my dad had me read when I was young. I can't help it. I just grew up in an era when it was an in-between era. You know what I mean? It was an in-between era. But anyway, just think about this stuff. We'll talk more about this kind of stuff during conspiracy circle time. Can I tell you something? Fran, who watched Baby Reindeer on Netflix? It's not for everybody. Are you happy? Good, I'm glad. I know, right, Jen? I know. You know I know. You know I know you know. Right? Did you, Jules? It's not for everybody. It's not for everybody. Yeah. It's not for everybody. But Piers Morgan did an interview with the lady, the real Martha. I don't know how I feel about it. There are allegations that he is not telling the truth. She says he's not telling the truth. But let me tell you something. We all know Jen. When you go watch that interview with the real Martha and Piers Morgan, that actress that played Martha, she nailed it. It was creepy. All right. We're almost at an hour and 45 minutes. This was just supposed to be quick, wasn't it? It was. But we got a little off track and it was a lot of fun, wasn't it? It was. I'm so glad everybody was here. Even you freaks in the bushes. I know you're listening because I can see you. Right there. But that's okay. You'll get used to me. And then you won't be hiding in the bushes. Don't be afraid. You might get out of the pool. Did you watch it, Jen? Did you watch her with Piers Morgan? I don't know who's telling the truth. It's just so weird. Strange, right? Like weird, like bizarre, right? Like, could it be that he took dramatic license? Like the base part of the story is true. The characters are true, but he embellished. Do you know what I'm saying? Like for dramatic effect and stuff, he dramatized things maybe. I don't know. It's just, ugh. And let me tell you something. I have watched some weird shit in my life. I certainly have, right? But this was bizarre. It was bizarre. Okay, everybody, listen. Tomorrow is Mother's Day. It certainly is. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. We got to listen to what is common, right? What is common? And then the truth is in the middle, because that's how it always is. There's this side of the story, there's this side of the story, and then what matches up is the truth in the middle, right? Right. Tomorrow is Mother's Day. For those of you that are celebrating Mother's Day, I hope you have a fabulous day, right? I hope you do. I hope that you have the kind of day that you want. I hope you are given the kind of day that you deserve. If you're not, then you make everybody in your house just as miserable as you will be, right? Because that's what moms do. That's what we do. If mama ain't happy, ain't nobody happy, right? Right? No, stop it. Stop it. I got to see. Right. And how to pass properly at the dinner table and how to dress properly for certain occasions. Come on, Linda. Come on now. Come on. See, you're getting all woo-woo. You're getting all woo-woo on me, Linda. We just talked about this. Just kidding. I'm kidding, Linda. You know we love you, Linda. Linda is our circle friend of few words. She is. She is. Yes, Linda. Listen, have a great day tomorrow, everybody. Because if it wasn't for mothers, none of us would be here. None of us would be here. Right? Thanks so much for joining me. It's been a lot of fun. Don't you feel better when you get some things that you've had trapped in your head off your chest? You do. You do. You do. You do. And if you see somebody that's drowning in the pool, we all know what we mean, right? Tell them, get the hell out of the pool. Get out of the pool. Listen, I'll see you at Circle Time, our conspiracy theory Circle Time. Everybody have a great day tomorrow. I'll be thinking of everybody. Feel free to leave a comment down below if you'd like to. You know I love ya. You know I do. Are we ready? I'm ready. I hope you're happy. I hope you are happy. I hope you're happy. I hope you're healthy. It is up to us. Take your zinc every day. Every day. You may forget your birth control, right? Which would be inexcusable, but you can never forget your zinc, right? And I hope you're safe. I certainly, certainly do. See you on Wednesday, everybody. Thanks for hanging out with me.